Alright, continuing with my post-draft series, I wanted to take a look at Myles Garrett from Texas A&M. This edge rusher is the number 1 player on my board, and he went first in the 2017 NFL Draft to the Cleveland Browns. As a prospect, Garrett is an explosive athlete with the length and strength to be a dominant pass rusher in the NFL. While he looks the part, his effort at times is poor. Also, he is not the best at stringing moves together. Overall, I gave this pick a solid grade A, and here's why. As an edge defender, he relies on his explosive burst off the line of scrimmage to beat blockers. Lining up as a 9-tech, 5-tech, or even as a 3-tech, he did a fantastic job of blowing up plays in the backfield. In this play versus Alabama, O.J. Howard stiff blocks across the formation, attempting to steal the edge. Garrett dips his shoulder around Howard's block, allowing him to make the tackle on the running back in the backfield for a loss. Plays like this happen very frequently in his time at A&M. Against the pass, Garrett has a few pass rush moves that he relies on in order to get to the quarterback. He has a dip and rip speed rush that is featured in this play in the 2015 Arkansas match. In this play, he beats the blocker around the corner with strength and flexibility to get to the quarterback. In addition to the speed rush, he also has a swipe swim move, a dangerous spin move, and a club rip move to beat defenders head up. He has so much natural talent as an athlete, there were plays where I literally sat in awe watching him use his speed, length, and power to win battles. You know, when I first turned on his tape, I honestly didn't like him very much. But when you see plays like this versus Auburn, holy shit, it's incredible. In this play, for him to have this much balance, flexibility, and power to get low and drive through the block inches from the ground, you just can't beat it. While he didn't get the sack, he still was able to hit the quarterback. Like I said before, he has a swipe swim move that is absolutely disgusting. In this play, the tackle attempts to quick set him outside, but Garrett expertly swipes his punch away. He then swims past him, making the tackle fall to the ground. The play was an inside dive, but if the running back attempted to get to the edge, he would have found Garrett standing there waiting for him. Later in the same Auburn match, he uses speed and a dynamic spin move to beat the blockers. His burst off the line of scrimmage widened the offensive tackle out of his path, creating a gap big enough in order to squeeze through. Just like in this play, and for a large portion of his junior season, he frequently dealt with many double teams. He is a type of pass rusher that teams have to prepare for in order to execute basic plays. He is just that good. His one major weakness against the pass is that he frequently doesn't employ a counter move after his initial pass rush fails. This was very evident against Cam Robinson when A&M played Alabama. Robinson did a great job all game, holding the edge and patiently controlling Garrett after the snap, just like in this play in the second quarter. Now Garrett flashed an occasional counter move, but at times he just seemed content being blocked and didn't use his hands to the best of his abilities to disengage. As a run defender, he can occasionally get widened, but he usually does a good job of maintaining his edge responsibilities. Versus Alabama, he uses his inside arm to create leverage, then he throws Cam Robinson aside for the run stop. Garrett has good backfield vision and doesn't get fooled by counters or by misdirections as well. Using his burst off the line of scrimmage, he does a good job of knifing through the offensive line and the strength to withstand blocks in order to make plays. Now, the one thing that really bothers me about Garrett is that his effort at times is not the best. In his junior season, he definitely took off snaps, just like in this play in the third quarter. O.J. Howard catches the pass out of the backfield, and Garrett casually jogs with no sense of urgency in order to make the tackle. This poor effort was showcased in the fourth quarter versus Tennessee, where he could have been the difference maker in order to prevent this game from going to overtime. There was one play with 49 seconds remaining that really stood out to me. A&M runs a game, looping Garrett from the weak side C gap to the strong side A gap. Garrett runs with no urgency when I think he really could have made a difference if he just sprinted to attack the quarterback. There were definitely other examples from this drive, but this was the final play that took the Volunteers into overtime. Alright, for his player comparison, you need someone with his length, power, and potential, so I'm going to go with DeMarcus Ware from the Dallas Cowboys. Ware had incredible talent coming out of school, but he also had to learn better counter moves. Once he did, he became a star pass rusher, averaging over 11 sacks per season, and I can easily see that for Garrett. Now this offseason, Gregg Williams was hired to be the Browns' defensive coordinator. Axing the old 3-4 system, Williams would install his 4-3 under base defense, just like he ran with the Los Angeles Rams. This defense features 4 down linemen, where Danny Shelton will play the nose tackle position, Larry Ogunjobi, who was drafted in the 3rd round, will play as a 3-tech, while Myles Garrett and Emmanuel Ogbah will play as the defensive ends. As one of these defensive ends, Garrett is a perfect fit rushing at the blindside of the quarterback. This defense looks already to be much improved from last year when they were ranked second to last by Football Outsiders. In addition to rushing from the edge, he lined up as a 3-tech for a decent number of snaps while at A&M. They used him on many stunts and games as both the penetrator and the looper. This also is very appealing to Gregg Williams, who loves using both in his defense to create havoc in the backfield. Overall, the Browns had a very good draft and even received an additional 2018 first-round pick when the Texans traded up for Deshaun Watson. Speaking of quarterbacks, in the middle of the second round, the Browns actually took my number 1 rated quarterback, and that's Deshaun Kaiser out of Notre Dame. I had an early second round grade on him, so grabbing him in the middle of the second is great value. Definitely check out that video on this channel, as I've already talked about him in great detail. Well, that's all I have for you. In my next video, I'll be jumping to my second favorite player in this class, and that's Jonathan Allen from Alabama. The Redskins were able to grab him at 17, which is an absolute steal in my opinion. So if you're a Skins fan, get ready for a very biased, but an informative video on him later this week. As always, thank you for supporting my work on my Patreon account, and you can follow me on Twitter at SammyRGold.